Okay, so on its face, a piddly misdemeanor that probably wouldn't even be charged. Like what kind of prosecutor would waste their time indicting someone for a misdemeanor like this? It's the stupidest thing. Like personally shady, sure, don't cheat on your wife. That should be obvious. But something that should require a federal prosecutor to be involved in, I can think of literally a million things that should take priority over this. The fact that we haven't even prosecuted the rioters that destroyed our cities during the Black Lives Matter riots of 2020, the fact that Antifa actually declared an autonomous zone, both in Atlanta, Georgia, and Portland, Oregon, and they were barely charged for it. The fact that we have illegal aliens, and not just individual illegal aliens, but drug cartels and human traffickers just pouring across our border. The fact that we have gun crime in Chicago that rivals a third world country in war with the fatalities. And this is what the prosecutor chooses to focus on. Okay, so what might be the motivation here? The motivation is obviously political. The charge is absurd on its face. And as Stephen Miller points out on Twitter, I want to bring this up because I want to read this exactly. Stephen Miller says, I'm going to quote this: "The idea that a routine private settlement unconnected to any campaign activity is a criminal offense because the settlement should have been paid with official campaign funds is the most preposterous, ludicrous, idiotic, indefensible, fraudulent, quote-unquote, legal theory conceivable. Under this, quote-unquote, theory, candidates must use federal campaign funds for private, personal, or corporate matters, an exact inversion of federal law. Indeed, the Department of Justice prosecutes those who use campaign funds for expressly non-campaign purposes. Of course, the theory is all bogus pretest. No serious human believes that the Manhattan DA's office believes any of this. They understand this is a purely partisan exercise in vengefully prosecuting a political enemy precisely as it is done in repressive third world nations, despotic regimes, and Marxist authoritarian states." That's interesting. That point is a point that I have not heard many people make. A lot of people are in agreement that this is political witch hunt. I mean, really, no one disagrees with that, even if they pretend to. But it would have actually been a crime had Trump used campaign funds for this personal expense. And what the left is trying to do is they're trying to put him in a crime if you do, crime if you don't situation. Crime if you do it this way, crime if you don't situation. They just want it to be a lose-lose for President Trump. But he would have been violating federal law had he used campaign funds for something that was a personal or corporate expense. It wouldn't have been a campaign-justified expense. This is what the left wants. They want a perp walk. They want President Trump to be hauled out in handcuffs. They wanted that when it came to the classified document scandal, the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago, the picture that they released of the classified folders that they had laid out on the carpet of the 45 office at Mar-a-Lago. Who does that unless it's a PR stunt? They want a perp walk. They want Trump in handcuffs. They want to humiliate him. They want to enrage us.